Hey guys, Lucky Ghost here. Today we're going to be going over a build for new players. I was doing some experimenting to see if I could put together a build for my Necromancer that did not need a back bar, and it went surprisingly well. I took this build into VMA and ended up crushing it. It was my easiest run yet. The sheer simplicity of the build made it very safe and very effective. The coolest part of this build is that it's derived from my actual 2-bar stamina Necromancer that's parsed over 91,000 damage. So if you use this for a bit, it should be a fantastic stepping stone to a full 2-bar build that's capable of all content in the game. As it stands, this build will easily navigate all solo content and all dungeons in the game. It will easily conquer normal trials, but before you graduate to veteran trials, I do recommend throwing that back bar into place and following the complete guide. All right, first up, let's go over the skills. We're gonna use Blighted Blast Bones, which is basically a delayed time bomb. You choose the enemy you wanna sick it on, and after 2.5 seconds, it's gonna leap at them and explode for massive, massive damage. Anytime Blighted Blast Bones isn't up, we're gonna be brawling. Brawling does a ton of damage, but it also provides a shield for each enemy that is hit. So the more things we hit, the thicker that shield. The third skill is going to be Skeletal Archer. There's some nice passives in this skill line right here that are going to give us some penetration. It does some great damage. It increases our execute damage. Having this here is useful for us in many ways. Next, we've got the Spirit Guardian. This serves two purposes. First, it's going to last for 16 seconds and heal us the entire time that it's up. It's a great way to keep our health topped off in case anything gets through that brawler shield and does a little bit of damage to us. This guy will heal us right back up to full, so we're ready to take another punch. Not only that, but while it's active, 10% of the damage we take is transferred to him, so we're taking 10% less damage as well. Further damage mitigation is going to come from our Beckoning Armor, which increases our physical and spell resistance significantly. With this active, we take much less damage when something does hit us, and it does wonders for our survivability. But not only that, ranged attackers, because we're melee, that hit us will be pulled to us every 3 seconds. An enemy that shoots us from range will be sucked right towards us, right into our brawls, our melee attacks. And finally, our ultimate, the Ravenous Goliath. It's basically impossible to die while in this form. For 20 seconds, you will become a horrific Ravenous Goliath, increasing your max health by 30,000. That's going to give you around 50,000 HP. That's more than almost any tank out there. And it's going to immediately restore 30,000 health. So this is a fantastic oh crap button that heals you up to full and gives you 50,000 HP. While transformed, your light attack and heavy attacks are also going to heal you. Not only that, but you get a damage aura that hurts everything around you and heals you as well. It's nearly impossible to die in this form, so it's basically 20 seconds of invulnerability almost, in which you have to deal with whatever danger you got yourself into. As far as the passives go, we're going to take all of the passives in Gravelord. We are also going to take the passives in Bone Tyrant to take advantage, because we will be using Beckoning Armor from that skill line. We're also going to be taking advantage of the Living Death passives because we're going to be using the Spirit Guardian. We're going to be wearing 7 pieces of medium armor, so we'll grab all of the medium passives. We'll be using a two-handed weapon, so we'll be taking Brawler and all of these passives in the two-handed weapon. And then, of course, we'll take our racial passives. I'm an orc. I highly recommend going orc when it comes to stamina damage dealers. They are very well suited to it because not only do they get fantastic damage output, but they also get 1,000 passive HP, which makes it very easy to spec into even more damage on your character because you get so much base health. And finally, you're going to take Medicinal Use level 3. All right, now let's go over gear. We're going to take 2-piece Crags. We're going to take 5-piece New Moon Acolyte on the body, and then for the jewelry and the weapons, we're going to go Vicious Ophidian. If you don't have Vicious Ophidian, that's a trial set that drops from Crag Trials. You can wear Deadly, which can be purchased from guild traders. You could also purchase or farm Briar. The Deadly would be the second best choice after Vicious Ophidian. Vicious Ophidian is fantastic though, as you can see here on the passives. It adds weapon critical, it gives you minor slayer, it adds more weapon critical, and then for the 5-piece it adds weapon damage and reduces the cost of your stamina abilities by 8%. And every time you kill something, it gives you back 2,150 stamina, increases your move speed for 8 seconds by 30%. This is the king of stamina solo sets. It should be in every solo stamina build. The only issue is that you do have to do group content to get it. So if you're just going to be solo doloing your way through the game and you don't plan on doing any trials, or if you just haven't done any yet, you can use Deadly instead. Deadly Strikes, which can be purchased at Guild Traders. For the champion points, we'll be putting 61 points into Master at Arms, putting 40 points into Thaumaturge, 41 points into Piercing, 64 points into Precise Strikes, 64 points into Mighty. For the green champion points, this is flexible. It's going to depend on your play style. Do you roll dodge a lot? Do you block a lot? What kind of a player are you? And what kind of content are you doing at the time? Does it require blocking? Does it require roll dodging? You can spec into those cost reductions down here, depending on what you're going to need. For my all-around build, I put 5 points into Bashing, 19 points into Sprinter, 31 points into Warlord, 75 points into Mooncalf, 56 into Tenacity, 40 points into Shadow Ward, and 44 points into Tumbling. For the red CP, again, very content driven. For your all-around champion point spec, you might put 81 into Ironclad, 32 into Spell Shield, 49 into Hardy, 49 into Elemental Defender, 48 into Thick Skinned, and 11 into Quick Recovery. For food, we've got two options. We can use Artaeum Takeaway Broth when we're doing more difficult content for that increased health and health regeneration, along with our stamina and stamina regeneration. When we're not doing difficult content, we can use the much cheaper Lavafoot Soup and Saltrice, which is going to give us max stam and stamina recovery. For potions, when we really want to do as much damage as possible, we'll be using Essence of Weapon Power. These potions are amazing. But when you want to save a buck and you're doing easier content, you'll be more than fine running your simple Essence of Stamina potions that you pick up off of mobs. And for the Moonstone, we'll go ahead and pick up the Shadow. Alright guys, and this is the 1-bar Necro build. This build will be capable of doing all solo content in the game. It is capable of doing it all. I just tried it myself. I soloed one of the toughest world bosses, and I went and crushed VMA. I was very happy with the performance in both scenarios. And going forward, I think I might just basically use this build whenever I'm running VMA on this character. I was so satisfied with how clean and smooth and deathless it was. So I'm highly recommending it to you as well. And like I mentioned before, the best part about this build is it will very, very easily transition into my 2-bar Necromancer build, which I parse over 90,000 with. I've done all of the hardest content in the game with that character. So if you get in the habit of using this rotation, the Blastbones Brawler, it will be very easy to switch over to that full 2-bar rotation later on. Because that is the core of that rotation as well. 90% of the time, that is what you're doing, just like it is here. So this will be a great stepping stone for new players who don't want to deal with 2 bars yet, but they are very open to the idea of progressing to that down the road. I hope you enjoy the build. Be sure to let me know how you like it and ask any questions you might have. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you found this video helpful. I'm Lucky Ghost. I stream ESO on Twitch 5 days a week, so be sure to swing by if you need help or have questions or just want to hang out with someone else who loves ESO. Be sure to visit justlootit.com for written guides, link in the description below. Hope to see you soon. Take care.